What are some of the most influential albums for Gen Z artists and Gen Z overall? And I'm not talking about albums by Gen Z artists, I'm talking about the albums that shaped the Gen Z stars that we currently know and love. I'm in the process of counting down my top 15, and today is number 8, which is Red by Taylor Swift. The album that transcribed the chaotic emotions of young adulthood and the pain and loss of someone's first real heartbreak. The album that proved that Taylor Swift was an artist who would never change but would never stay the same either. The album that showed her what a number one hit feels like and subsequently laid the foundation that the biggest pop star in the world was built on. The album that broke genres in ways that hadn't been done before, at least in the mainstream, by not just crossing country and pop, but also allowing elements of rock and dubstep to sit alongside each other on the same project. The album that popularized confessional writing in pop music and forever, or at least until current day, shifted pop music's focus to be less superficial and more introspective. And the album that from the moment of its release until assumably the end of time has and will soundtrack every 22nd birthday. Taylor Swift's Red released in 2012, debuting at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and remaining on the chart for 185 weeks, with 10 songs charting on the Billboard Hot 100, 5 of which cracked the top 10, with We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together becoming Taylor Swift's first number 1 hit. This is the type of album that truly deserves the title iconic. It is often referred to as her best album, with many fans also calling it their favorite even almost 14 years later. It offered tracks so good that even ones that didn't perform outstandingly at the time went on to become cult classics. For instance, the track 5, All Too Well, was so beloved by the fans that upon Taylor offhandedly mentioning once in an interview that a 10-minute version of the song exists in the vault, fans begged for it for almost 10 years, and when Taylor, for better and for worse, had to re-record her first 6 albums, she included the 10-minute version of All Too Well on the re-recording of Red in 2021. Unexpectedly, yet unsurprisingly, the song became a number 1 hit and broke several records. It now sits as the longest song ever to go number 1, and it ended a 49-year streak previously held by Don McLean's American Pie in the process. Amongst everything the album did for Taylor as an artist and for the culture, it has also shaped an entire generation of artists. A few of them, 13 to be exact, that have cited Taylor as an influence or inspiration, with many of them citing Red specifically, are Sabrina Carpenter, Olivia Rodrigo, Conan Gray, Gracie Abrams, Girl in Red, Griff, Clairo, Baby Queen, Maisie Peters, Somber, Rachel Chinariri, Biba Doobie, and Lizzie McAlpine. These artists have cited Taylor's influence on them in many ways, ranging from how they write, to what they're drawn to sonically, to the use of specific colors for eras, and even to owning their own work. Taylor Swift's influence cannot be overstated, and this is perhaps the most quintessential Taylor Swift album there is. I mean, maybe Tortured Poets, but that's another conversation. I also want to take a second to mention 1989 as an honorable mention. It was such a big album, such a perfect pop album, and it was very impactful, especially bringing one of the biggest producers today into the mainstream, Jack Antonoff. But ultimately, I don't think 1989 would exist without Red, and though it performed better on the charts and is more awarded, I just feel as though Red is more influential. And with that, I hope to see you back tomorrow for my number 7.